There are 6 everyday habits secretly destroying your gut lining and your energy. And I promise you, at least a couple of these are going to catch you off guard. Because these aren't the obvious things. I'm not going to be telling you to stop eating processed food. You already know that. What I'm going to be talking about are the quieter, more subtle habits that fly under the radar, even when you're already trying to eat well. I spent years doing a lot of these without realizing the impact they were having on how I felt. And when I started addressing them one by one, that's when things really started to shift. And stay with me, because habit number 3 specifically is one that almost nobody talks about. And it changed the way I think about something that I do dozens of times a day. And before we dive in, if you're looking for a step-by-step plan to start feeling better this week, you'll definitely want to check out my free Gut Reset Jumpstart Guide. It's linked down in the description below this video. It's simple, it's beginner friendly, and it's totally free. And I want to tell you right now that number 6 is probably the simplest thing on this list, and it might be the one that you're skipping the most. I'll save it for the end. Let's start with the one that has nothing to do with what you're actually eating, which honestly makes it one that most people completely miss. What is it? It's eating while stressed, distracted, or rushing. Eating in the car, standing at the counter, scrolling on your phone, inhaling lunch in 5 minutes between tasks. I used to do all of these, often even at the same time. Digestion is a parasympathetic process. Your body can only digest food well when it feels safe and calm. When you're in a rushed or stressed state, your nervous system is in a mode designed for survival, not digesting the meal you just ate. Enzyme production is inhibited. The whole digestive process gets deprioritized in the body. Over time, this habit of eating while stressed can contribute to food not being properly broken down, which creates a whole cascade of downstream issues in the gut. The good news is, this is a free fix. Sit down, take a breath, put your phone in another room for 15 minutes. Start with just 1 meal a day where you practice this and notice the difference. So remember, real gut healing is not just about what you eat. It's about the state your body is in when it receives the food. The most nourishing meal benefits from being eaten in a calm, intentional way. And that's something every single one of us can start doing today. Okay, this next one really surprised me when I first started understanding it, because I had no idea how many things in the body actually depend on this. This is mineral deficiency, specifically from relying on refined salt or low mineral water and not getting enough of the broad spectrum of trace minerals that your body needs every day. Minerals are foundational to so many different body functions: the nervous system, muscle function, hydration at the cellular level, enzyme activity, and gut health itself. My favorite mineral salt is Baja Gold because it has a huge variety of minerals in their natural balance. And it's especially high in magnesium, which is such an important mineral. I add it generously to taste to our meals, when I make meat stock, and I even add pinches of it to drinking water. On higher need days like hot weather or lots of physical activity or even illness, I make a simple homemade electrolyte drink. Spring water, fresh lemon juice, a little raw honey, and Baja Gold sea salt. That's it. The kids love it. And the difference in how everyone feels on a really well mineralized day versus a depleted day is actually very noticeable. A lot of us have been so trained to fear salt, and I think that fear has contributed to a lot of people walking around in a low-grade, mineral-deficient state without realizing it. So you don't need expensive supplements here. A high-quality whole sea salt used generously, plus a good water source, can really go a long way. And I will link my current favorites in the description below. Okay, here's the one I promised you. This is the habit that changed how I think about something that I do dozens of times a day. And I really had not heard anyone talk about this until I started going down this rabbit hole. And before we get into that, if you'd like to start making some easy food swaps that reduce inflammation, cravings, and brain fog, be sure to check out my free Easy Real Food Swaps guide linked down in the description below this video. So what is this? It's drinking dead water. Even if you're already filtering your water to remove chlorine and other harmful things, there's another layer to the water conversation that most people completely skip: the structure of the water itself. Water that has been through heavy processing, sitting in pipes, stripped of minerals, stored in plastic bottles. That water is very different from the kind of water that our ancestors were drinking. Spring water, water that has been in contact with the earth, with sunlight, natural elements, movement. Structured water is water that has been reorganized in a way that makes it more bioavailable and beneficial to the body. And the good news is there are very simple, low-cost ways to do this at home. Letting your water sit in sunlight in a glass container for a period of time can help to structure it. Putting cut fresh fruits or vegetables into the water and letting it sit for a time is another good way. We like to slice lemons, limes, cucumbers, and make what's commonly called spa water. But the great thing about it is that we're structuring it when we let those things sit in the water. And then, of course, adding a pinch of high-quality mineral salt helps give it more life. None of these cost much, and they all move your water closer to the kind of nourishing, living water that our bodies actually recognize. This is one of those things that sounds a little out there until you feel the difference, and then you can't stop thinking about it. Start with one thing. Put a jar of filtered water in your windowsill and drink it throughout the day, and see how you feel. Sometimes the most meaningful shifts are the quietest ones. And I'm curious, have you ever experimented with water quality or water structuring? What have you tried? Tell me in the comments below, because I love hearing what's working in your life. This next one might be the one that feels the most relatable, because I think so many of us have been there, myself included. And what is it? It's constantly chasing the newest health food or fad or trend, instead of returning to the simple ancestral foods that nourished healthier generations before us. Every few months, there's a new miracle superfood or a new supplement or protocol that's going to fix everything. And I've tried a lot of them over the years. What I've found over and over again is that none of these things came close to the transformation I experienced when I stopped chasing trends and went back to the basics. Meat stock, animal fats, fermented vegetables, good salt, simple, nourishing food. Now, these aren't exciting. There's no marketing budget behind them. Your great-grandmother didn't have a brand deal. But the generations who ate this way, without seed oils, without fortified cereals, without protein powder and greens powder and prebiotic fiber packets, were genuinely healthier in a foundational way. This trend chasing can also become its own source of stress and overwhelm, which brings us right back to habit number one. Calm, consistent, real food is the answer. It just doesn't make for a very exciting headline. If you've been spending money on supplements and specialty health products and still not feeling the way you want to feel, I gently invite you to redirect that energy toward the boring stuff: a pot of meat stock, a jar of sauerkraut, more butter on your vegetables. This habit is connected to the last one, and it's one that I feel really strongly about because I see it hold so many people back, especially in the gut health world. What is it? It's being afraid of food, staying in an unnecessarily restrictive way of eating, long past the point where it's serving you, and being afraid to expand your food choices as your body gets healthier. Healing protocols like the GAPS protocol is designed to be temporary and progressive. You start more restricted, you gradually add foods back in, you expand as your body tolerates more. The goal is never to stay at the most restricted stage forever, but I see so many people get stuck there, either out of fear or out of habit, because they've been in so many wellness spaces that told them more and more foods are bad. Real food freedom is a big part of what ancestral eating is pointing towards. The traditional cultures that Weston A. Price studied were not afraid of food. They ate with joy, with community, with abundance within their traditional diets. Being chronically fearful around food creates a stress response in the body, which, as we talked about at the very start of this video, becomes its own obstacle to gut healing. As the body gets healthier, the goal is to eat more variety, more nourishing foods, more abundance, not less. And the wonderful thing about protocols like GAPS is that it not only is an elimination diet in the beginning and builds, it includes the foods that do the repair work so that you can move forward in progress and digest and tolerate foods that you couldn't before. And that's a huge piece to realize, because not all protocols, very few protocols actually have that very important piece. So if you've been eating in a very restricted way for a long time and you're wondering if it's still necessary, that's a good question to sit with. Healing is not a static destination. It's a moving, expanding thing. It might be time to give your body permission to grow into more. And here's number 6, the simplest one on the list, but I have a feeling that it's one that a lot of you are skipping. What is it? It's not getting outside enough, not getting enough sunlight, spending most of your time indoors. Sunlight is not just about vitamin D, although vitamin D is genuinely important for immune function, mood, gut health, and more. Sunlight also regulates your circadian rhythm, which affects cortisol, which affects sleep, which affects gut health and immune function, and nervous system function and energy. It's all connected. When I think about the healthiest generations before us, they were outside. They were moving, they were in sunlight, they were connecting with the earth. I'm not saying you need to become an outdoor person if that's not your thing. I'm saying that even 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight outdoors without sunglasses can shift something real in how your body functions. We try to get our kids and ourselves outside every single day, even in Colorado winters. And I believe it's one of the most underrated health tools available to all of us, and it's completely free. So those are the 6 habits that could be quietly destroying your gut lining and your energy. None of these requires a supplement, a program, or an expensive protocol. This is all about returning to a simpler, more ancestral way of living and eating. And if you want a shopping list for better digestions, hormones, and mood, make sure to check out my Real Food for Real Results shopping list. It's completely free. It's down in the description for you below this video, along with my free Gut Reset Jumpstart Guide and my free Easy Real Food Swaps Guide. Now that you know about the 6 everyday habits secretly destroying your gut lining and energy, you might be wondering what to eat each week to avoid inflammation. But how do you do that? It all starts by watching this video here next, because when you pair what you're about to learn here with what you just learned in this video, it's so much more powerful. Give this video a thumbs up if it gave you at least one new thing to think about. Subscribe for more real food and gut health content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.